Hello, one and all. Welcome back to another edition of the Average Guy's Guide to Life podcast. You know who I am. You know what this is. Yeah, bitch. I love ya. Welcome back. I would ask how your quarantine is going, but you know, it's going. It's definitely going. My light is blinking here. What's going on here? Anyway, just checking in on you, giving you another podcast for your entertainment pleasure. I want to start off by saying that I am not a videographer or a professional producer or a professional editor. So things may come out looking a little funky sometimes. I'm figuring out the formula here, people. Work with me. Figuring it out, making sure everything is where it's supposed to be, figuring out the camera situation, figuring out the lighting situation. It's a work in progress, but if you stick with me, I promise you that the end result will be pretty enough for you to go along with my pretty face. Ain't that what you wanted to see? It's probably the exact opposite of what you wanted to see. So, I wanted to begin today's episode by mostly stating that my content that I create, not only is it an outlet for my creative ventures, whether it be comical, whether it be political or social, whatever it is, it's an outlet because my brain is like a fucking thing that refuses to turn off. It's always cooking up ideas and content. So I put it out there. And I also put it out there for you, my loyal viewer slash listener. The one thing that I pride myself on, more than being the average guy, I'm also debating on whether or not I should shorten the name of the podcast to just the AGPC, the Average Guys Podcast. Let me know what you think about that. But what I pride myself on a lot is not having to resort to using other people's content for my content. Now, what do I mean by that? Okay, there's a lot of YouTubers who would have zero content if it was something that they had to cook up inside their own head. If it was something that they had to create, an idea that they had to like put together and cook in their own brain and make it entertaining. A lot of YouTubers can't do that. A lot of podcasters can't do that. They rely on other existing properties or other existing channels or other existing forms of media. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of YouTube channels that do reviews or reactions to shit. Like, I'm going to review this movie and let you know what I think about it. And what I think about it should tell you what you think about it. Therefore, I'm going to decide whether you should watch it or not. Not just movies, anime, television shows, music. A lot of people create content based on content that was created by a real creator, but someone who actually made the shit. I try not to rely on that too much. Of course, there will be things that I believe deserve to be spoken about, things that are, social topics like Tiger King. I would have talked about that had it not been covered by every fucking medium everywhere. Like, even ESPN radio, ESPN, since there's no sports, they have nothing else to fucking talk about. So what do they talk about? They talk about Tiger King, just like everybody else. So that's what I mean when I say using other people's content for my content. So I try not to do that. But today, I'm going to be forced to do that. And that's because I recently, sorry about that, I recently watched a movie. It was a real movie on Amazon Video, Amazon Prime. I watched a movie that was $2 to rent. Now that should tell you enough about this movie right there. Telling you it's a $2 movie. Okay. Uh, and although I made this entire disclaimer about me not wanting to use other people's content for my own content, I have to tell you about this shit. It is awesome and terrible. It is hilarious and horrendous. It is a work of art and a piece of shit all at the same time. And I'm going to be getting into that. But first, before I get into the movie review of the $2 film I saw, I wanted to tell you guys about how my afternoon went when I got off of my job and I made it home today to start shooting this video. I was on my way to run an errand, and by run I mean walk at a leisurely pace to run an errand, and I'm putting myself at risk because of the quarantine and the social distancing and the whole pandemic situation. But I need this shit. I gotta go to the store to get this shit. And what is the shit that I needed? Glad you asked. I needed hot sauce, Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, and a phone charger. I needed this shit, okay? While I am walking to my destination, I have my headphones in, my wireless earbuds. They're not Raycons. Uh, you can sponsor me though, Raycon, by all means, if you're still a thing and you didn't go under. And they weren't those AirPods or whatever the fuck. I just get a pair of, wireless earbuds. And I'm listening to the White House press conference while I'm walking to the store. And I hear someone yelling at me in the distance. Now, mind you, it's just a faint yelling because I have noise in my ear, but when you could tell someone's yelling at you. So I take them out just to see where the fuck the sound is coming from, right? And it's coming from across the street. So I look across the street, it's a guy pushing a cart, and he yells across the street to me, "Do I have $1?" This is what he yells to me. And I'm like, no. Yes, but no. Like, I have $1, but not for you, sir. Across the street, probably contaminated, probably walking around with the COVID. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. Move along, carry on, sir. I mean, the crazy thing is, it's like, we're supposed to be social distancing, and he did the right thing. He begged from across the street. He did the right thing, because if you're a professional beggar, how else are you supposed to beg? You gotta beg from far away. So not even social distancing can stop a motherfucker from begging. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. So that's what happened to me. And I want to know if anyone else has had a similar experience to where they've been begged at from a distance, like I was today. Okay, so to the fucking movie. Now, once again, this movie was on Amazon Prime, Amazon Video, and I am subscribed to Amazon Prime, so I don't know why I had to pay for the movie. I thought movies were just included, but I guess this movie was just so great You had to fucking pay for it, right? It was $2 to rent, $2 fucking, and I think $4 to buy. Like you could own this movie for $4. It's worth it, folks. It's fucking worth it. The name of this movie is 12 Feet Deep. And no, it is not an adult film, surprisingly enough. The name of the movie is 12 Feet Deep, Trapped Sisters. Okay? And if you haven't seen this movie, you're missing out on one of the greatest unintentional comedies ever. Like, it's so great, but it's so bad. It's so great and bad. It's so bad and great. Now, the reason that I even watched this movie, it was suggested to me to watch. And when I heard the plot, I was like, oh, this is going to be terrible. I was told that the trailer looked good, right? You know how they trick you with these trailers and they put the music in the background, get y'all into it, you know? I was like, oh, no, the premise of this movie sounds horrible. This is going to be a terrible film, but I'm interested. I'm interested. I can go for some terrible right now in my quarantine life, you know? Even though I still have to physically go to work, me, like everyone else, we're burning through media right now. We're binging shows, we're rewatching movies that we love. We're burning through this shit. So having something new introduced to me, I'm all for it, even though I know it's terrible. So the premise that was explained to me on what this movie was about was it was sisters that got trapped in a pool, like a swimming pool. How? I don't know. Before seeing it. Why? Also don't know. How are they going to make this long enough for a feature length film? Also, don't know. But I know it's going to be bad because any movie about that premise that's supposed to cover, hour and a half, 2 hours, there's no way this shit's going to be, a fucking classic. This isn't going to be The Revenant. So we rent the movie, $2, and it starts off. No, spoiler alert, right here. Right here is your fucking spoiler alert. If you don't want to be spoiled on the movie and you like the title and you like my build up for it and you want to see it for yourself, don't watch here for maybe another, I don't know, 10 minutes. I'm going to try to make this as quick, painless, and enjoyable at the same time as possible. And hilarious, because this movie's fucking hilarious. Now, the movie starts off by showing its hand, right? Like these are probably the two of the most transparent characters that were ever written by these writers, but they're also complicated. They're complicated, transparent characters. So they introduced the first sister, who's just sitting at the swimming pool area, and she's playing with her wedding ring, well, engagement ring. She's just looking at it, playing with it. And then they show the other sister in the parking lot who has a heroin needle in her glove compartment. And she closes it up. This is probably the worst criminal ever. Like, could you not find another place for your drug paraphernalia? Dumb fuck. like, I've never met anyone addicted to heroin, but I would imagine that you wouldn't want to keep the evidence that you're addicted to heroin in your car, like in the glove compartment. But, that's neither here nor there. They're introducing the characters. Apparently one's getting married and the other one's got a fucking H problem. Moving on. Now, they meet each other and apparently they haven't seen each other in years. This is their first time hanging out in a while. Okay. So that means they have a lot of catching up to do. Why are they catching up at a swimming pool? Who knows? I mean, a normal person would want to catch up with a a long lost sibling over, I don't know, maybe some coffee, maybe a motherfucking panini for lunch, maybe a nice quaint dinner or some shit. But no, this is how these sisters bond while swimming in a public swimming pool. So, okay, this is what they decide they want to do. Now, when they arrive, they don't even get a chance to swim because Jigsaw tells them that the fucking pool is closing. Jigsaw. The guy who played Jigsaw is in this movie. What is he? I don't know. He's not a lifeguard. He's too old. And he's also not wearing swim trunks. Okay? So I don't know what he is. He's just some pool guy. So Jigsaw is playing the pool guy. And a part of me was like, this would be awesome if this was like a spin-off sort of Saw movie where at the end of the movie they learned that this was just all like a Jigsaw test or some shit that they had to make it through to make themselves a better person at the end of it, and it was going to be bloody and fucked up, you know. But that's totally not what happened, you know. Jigsaw was just pool guy. Um, and he was telling them when they showed up, before they even got to swimming with each other, that, hey, we're about to fucking close. So, hit the brakes, bitch. We are about to close. And, okay, they're about to round up their things and leave. Now, the sister with the wedding ring, this bitch, lost the wedding ring. Okay, how the fuck did this happen? Now, me and you, the normal people here, when you go swimming, normally, you wouldn't take things with you that are worth anything into the swimming pool. If you have, that like credit cards or your phone, cash, you don't put those on your person when you're about to go swimming. You just don't, as far as I know. You put that shit in your locker, you put that shit in your bag on the little benches that they put out there, and you pray that no one steals it while you take a dip. But apparently this bitch wanted to go swimming with her ring. Okay. Now, the ring apparently got lodged in one of those, what do you call it? One of those things, one of those metal filter dealies that are at the bottom of the pool. Now, it was revealed later in the movie that the jealous crackhead sister threw the ring in there, and that's how it got lodged in the fucking pool. But the accuracy needed for the 1 in 100 billion odds that this ring got stuck at the bottom of the filter in the pool, where the sister would have to swim in and try and dislodge it, is astronomical. Like, how did you perfectly shoot that motherfucker, like flicking that shit right in the pool, and it landed right in that little crack there? Now, the engaged sister decides, I have to swim in here and get my ring before Jigsaw throws us out of the motherfucking swimming pool area. That makes sense. She goes in, swims, dislodges it, movie over. No 12 feet deep, no trapped sisters, movie done. Okay? But that makes too much sense. Of course. So while the engaged sister decides to dive and try and dislodge the ring, the crackhead decides to dive in there too. Instead of staying outside of the pool where she can keep an eye on Jigsaw and let him know not to close shop because my sister in there trying to get her wedding ring or engagement ring, she decides, I wonder what the fuck is going on at the bottom of that pool. What's going on? What is she doing down there? What's going on? I gotta go check this out. Even though the bitch know that she threw it in there and the sister's taking it out. So why the fuck are you joining? You the one that threw it in there. You threw it in there. You did it on purpose. You wanted to watch her struggle to get it. But now you want to help her get it out? Why? This is what you planned. What the fuck? What What? What? So, okay. So now both sisters are underwater trying to dislodge this engagement ring. One that it belongs to, the other is on heroin. And the heroin sister's hair gets trapped in the vent down there. And Jigsaw just decides, oh, I don't see anybody in the pool area anymore. Time to close up shop. So he decides he's going to put a little, plastic thing over the pool, close up shop. And that's how the movie starts. They're trapped in. Why, God? What, why? What has my life become? What has it become? So, uh, it's great though. It's fucking great. Trust me. Trust me. I am not doing it any sort of justice. So that's how the movie begins. And they spend, not once Jigsaw leaves, they spend all of 3 minutes actually trying to figure out how to escape this pool. They're trying to find a weak spot in the thing, you know. They're not banging all out of control for the entire thing. They spend about 3 to 5 minutes actually physically trying to escape this pool. The most of the other runtime of this movie is them unveiling how fucked up their lives are to each other while they're trapped in the pool. Like, remember when I said these are two of the most transparent yet complicated characters that I've ever seen? That's because they have some of the most extraordinarily dramatic lives ever written by these writers. Like, instead of them hashing it out over a full length feature film where they get the opportunity to come together at the end and bond and, you know, get over their individual issues with one another or their lives or whatever. The writers and the creators of this shit, yeah, they decide this shit. They decide that why don't we just put them in a pool and then we can rebuild their relationship that way? Huh? That makes sense. No one wants to see them go through their individual struggles throughout an entire movie. We just trap them in one area, and that way they can do it that way. All right, all right. It's the dumbest shit ever. Like, seeing stuff like this makes me extremely hopeful as a creator because people signed off on this idea. Like, this movie was written, it was greenlit, produced, directed, cast, and acted. I mean, it's amazing. It's remarkable to me the shit that can get made, right? There's a lot of shit that gets made. So if you're a creator, you should feel confident that your movie has to be worth more than $2, especially if you've seen this shit. So let me get to the most interesting parts of the movie, besides them discussing their individual issues instead of trying to escape the actual pool that they're trapped in. Okay, of course they're talking about how you were jealous of me. I was never jealous of you. You got problems. We all got problems. The world is full of monsters. Our dad was a monster, and every time they end it with like a sister hug, like they sister embrace, right? It just, oh, I forgive you, you forgive me, let's move on. But then they run into another issue where they have to hash that one out too, underwater in the pool. And then they have another sister hug and they hash that one out. And it's just, they do it at least three times in the movie. So there is an antagonist in this movie, though. Of course, there has to be. Besides Jigsaw, who mistakenly locked them in the pool, um, and the pool itself for being the antagonist. There's a real antagonist to this movie, and this is the most amazing character you're ever going to see. Because not only is this bitch crazy, not only does this bitch not need to exist as a character, but she injects herself into the storyline when They have nothing to do with it. The character is a janitor, right? The janitor has a troubled past where they're a felon, and the only job that they can get is a job working, as a fucking janitor, custodian, motherfucking, working as a server or working in a restaurant as a cashier. You know how it is when you're a fucking felon. There ain't much you can do. Okay, I get that. Now, they hear the janitor walking around. So they get the bright idea after about 3 minutes of listening to the janitor walk around. They get the bright idea that we should bang on the shit and the janitor is going to let us out. Bright idea, sister, I kind of hate. Let's do it. So after 3 minutes of making sure it was someone walking, they bang on the fucking the plastic thing, and the janitor walks by, lets them know that she's there, but instead of helping them, decides to steal from them. Now, this would be okay if the janitor, first of all, didn't say anything, and if you're a thief, take the shit and leave, right? That would be fine. But the moment the janitor said something and then decided to steal, that made you a dumb criminal. That made you the dumbest criminal. Because all the motherfuckers got to do when they eventually get out is ask fucking Jigsaw who was the janitor. They stole our shit. Police report, please. So the janitor, the janitor announces their presence, and then instantly decides that I'm going to take things out of your purse. First thing she takes is a $20 bill. Ooh, big money. The next thing she takes is the phone and then a credit card. And then she asks the genius question, how'd you get in there? Are you stuck? Okay. What? Oh, okay. What? So she then begins to blackmail them and wants the card information, the PIN number. Now, as a normal, logical thinking person, if you were trapped in a pool, why would you give your PIN information to someone that doesn't appear like they're going to let you out of the pool one way or another? You're still going to be stuck in there, but they decide to give it to her anyway. Okay. Then the lady leaves. Then they have another sister argument. And then the sister argument resolves, and then they hug again. And then apparently the lady never left. She was listening to the whole thing. And then she interjects herself in their drama. And then she stirs up the pot to make sure that they get some more drama. Why? Don't know. This fucking janitor is apparently the lamest sociopath ever. Ever. And then the fucking crackhead sister, the one that's on the H-bomb, she decides to sharpen up a fucking piece of plastic that they tried to use to get themselves out of the pool. She decides to fucking stab the lady, stab her right in the fucking ear. But the lady, she's not dying. Like her reaction to being stabbed in the ear was like you being bit by a mosquito. She's just like, ow. She's not screaming in terror or anything. Blood isn't gushing out. Bitch, you just got stabbed in the fucking eardrum with a very sharp piece of hard plastic. And the sister is sitting there holding the piece of sharp plastic with the most psychopathic look on her face, like, and then the lady decides, the fucking idiot sociopath decides that she wants to kill him. So she doesn't only want to steal from him and announce her stealing. She now wants to kill them and announce her killing. So she says that she's going to hurt them, and then she decides that she's going to fill the pool up with some chlorine, and the chemicals are going to kill them, and they might also drown because there's chlorine being injected into the pool. All right, movie over, you would think, but no. Bitch has a change of heart, decides not to kill him, and then asks for the pass. Oh, Is that my co-host coming? And then decides, okay, instead I'm going to ask for the password of the phone, and then just go about my business. Okay. Now, yes, yes, my co-host. Yes, that is what I'm talking about right now. So the bitch, the character, the the idiot sociopath decides from one second she wants to kill him, and the next second she wants to help him. She wants to kill him one second, then help him the next second. And at the end of the movie, I'm not going to drag you out through how they actually got out because it was kind of anticlimactic, but they eventually got out. By this point, the idiot sociopath janitor stole from them the phone, $20, the credit card, which only had $80 on it, and the engagement ring. So when they escape, she then shows back up with a gun, pointed at the heroin addict sister. Yes, heroin, and decides that now she really wants to kill him. And the heroin addict sister, just looking at her on the phone with the police, didn't snitch. So the fucking the janitor's like, oh, I guess I don't want to kill you. Oh, this movie is so fucking fantastic. It is the greatest $2 you'll ever spend. Trust me. I know times are tough during this quarantine situation, and you don't have expendable cash, but trust me, if you have $2 to spend in your life, fucking 8 quarters. If you got 8 quarters, watch yourself some 12 feet deep trap sisters. No, it is not on Pornhub. This shit is great. It is great. It is horrible. It is fantastically funny and horrendous. Please watch it. Speaking of fantastically funny and horrendous, I'm gonna close with this. By the way, I feel like I'm rambling. So so when I am at work, I am at constant battle trying to get work done and trying not to go crazy, right? But I also have another battle going on with a fucking immortal fly. Every fucking day, there's a fly in my big cube. This motherfucker, I have killed it. At least 50 times I've killed this fly. I've murdered it. I've smashed it on my screen. I've smashed it on my desk. I've smashed it in my hands. I've crushed it in my palm. Yes, my co-host, in my palm, I have crushed this fucking fly. But it keeps coming back. And it doesn't go to anyone else's fucking cube. It stays in mine. Why? Why is it trying to make my life so difficult? It would be fine if it just flew around, but it wants to fly in your face. Like, flies are so fucking disrespectful. They can't, like, everywhere in the world, they have the entire world to fly, but they choose to fly right in your face, right in your fucking eyeballs. They want to fly around your head, like, and sit on your head and sit on your fucking face. So I'm smacking myself in the head, all fucking day looking like a maniac because this fly keeps coming back to fucking life. I don't know why I just told you that story. Maybe out of frustration. Like, I want to know, how can this be? How can this be? How can this be? Like, is there like a secret fly hive underneath my desk or some shit? Are they attracted to my scent or something? Do I smell like peaches or some shit? Why does it keep coming back? And why, no matter how many times I kill it, it only seems to come back stronger and more annoying? Fuck. Oh, God. Anyway, that's going to be the episode. Hope you guys are going well. Hope your podcast, I hope your podcast is going well. My podcast is going all right. I hope your quarantine is going okay. Um, stay indoors as much as you can. Don't interact with folks. Um, it's tough for people out there trying to date. Damn, you guys are fucked. But all you married people, you guys are fucked too because you're stuck with each other. Everyone else, single folks that's glad being single, do your thing. Watch a bunch of pornos. That's gonna be my goal. Watch a bunch of pornos. That's my goal for the week. Watch a bunch of pornos. All right. Bye.